Good morning, dear cadets. Today we start the training program of NCC with this live class. Before that, I would like to congratulate all the senior cadets who have passed the C certificate examination with good grades, and it will be a model for you who are going to appear the exams this year. Please remember, although the training is delayed, the exams will be conducted on time so that the certification procedures can be completed for your academic progress. So concentrate on your studies, not only in the NCC subjects, but in your academic curriculum also. Don't waste your time. We will have 2 sessions weekly in the NCC subjects. For the time being, we will be concentrating on the A&R topics only. The higher authorities will plan for other topics and also the practicals. Today we are dealing with a topic in the health and hygiene section of your syllabus. The first topic in your unit is the structure and function of the human body. As you know, the human body can be compared to their complex machinery. It has the most complicated structures and functional physiological adaptations. We are studying this for carrying out first aid activities during an emergency. The basic idea of structure and function of the human body will help you in such circumstances. Many lives can be saved if proper and timely first aid can be rendered. So the aim of this class is to teach the structure and functioning of the human body. This class will be conducted in 2 parts. The first part consists of the skeletal and muscular system of the human body, and the second part is concerned with the other organ systems of the body. Coming to the skeletal and muscular system, the skeletal system is made up of the bones. We know there are different types of bones, different size of bones and different functions. The human body has 206 bones of various size and shape. The primary function of the bone is to give shape and firmness to the body. It also protects the vital organs like brain, heart, lungs, spinal cord, etc. Some bones are loosely arranged or made up of loosely arranged materials or cells. Then the densely arranged bonds are also there. The loosely arranged bonds are called spongy bond, and the compactly arranged bonds are known as the compact bond. Some of the bonds are hollow inside, and such bonds are filled with bone marrow. Coming to the classification of bonds, bonds can be classified according to the shape into 5 categories, such as long bonds, short bonds, flat bonds, irregular bonds, and sesamoid bonds. The long bonds are long and tubular and are conformed to the upper lower limbs. Short bonds are short and tubular and are found in the ankle, wrist, etc. Flat bonds are in the cranium and shoulder or hips. Irregular bonds are seen in the vertebral column. They are of irregular shape or mixed shape. The sesamoid bonds develop in the tendons of the muscles around a joint. So these are the different types of bonds present in human body. We can see a recorded video on the skeletal system here.
The skeletal system includes all the bones of the body, plus the joints where they attach to each other. Our skeleton protects our internal organs, provides a framework or scaffolding that allows us to stand upright and move, stores minerals that our body needs to function properly, and produces blood cells. Our muscles, pulling this way or that way on our bones, produce movement. And without the protection of our skeleton, even a simple bump on the head or chest could injure vital internal organs. Pound for pound, the bones of the skeletal system are stronger than steel. The skeletal system is made up of 206 different bones, which come in four basic shapes. Long bones, such as the femur, short bones like the wrist and ankle bones, flat bones, such as those in the skull or scapula, and irregular bones, like the vertebrae. There are two types of bone tissue: compact bone, which is dense, smooth, and very strong, and cancellous bone, which is spongy and lightweight. Both types of bone tissue contain living cells, which help make repairs if a bone is injured or broken. A typical long bone has a main shaft called the diaphysis, composed of compact bone, and two ends called epiphyses, composed of cancellous bone. The main shaft is covered with a membrane of living cells called periosteum, to which muscles and tendons attach themselves. Inside the main shaft is a cavity called the medullary cavity, which contains bone marrow. Bone marrow stores fat, produces blood cells, and plays an important part in the body's immune system.
Coming to the muscular system, the muscle forms about half of the total weight of the body. And the muscles are responsible for the movements of the body. The muscles form the flesh of the body, and all the muscles are controlled by the nervous system except the cardiac muscles. The muscles are also classified on the basis of their nature of function. They are voluntary or skeletal muscles, involuntary muscles, and cardiac muscles. Voluntary muscles or skeletal muscles are attached to the surface of bones. These muscles form about 47% of body weight and are either fiber type or striated type. Most of the skeletal muscles span from one bone to another across a joint, and by contracting, they act upon the joints and produce movements. Involuntary muscles are controlled by autonomic nervous system. They are not under the control of our will, so they are called as involuntary muscles. The cardiac muscles are part of the heart wall. It is not under control of nervous system. It functions its own. So let us see a short recorded clip on the muscular system.
The muscular system is made up of over 600 muscles. Now these muscles receive their ability to move through the nervous system. The muscular system is divided into three main types of muscles, and each of these types can be moved by one of two ways, either voluntary or involuntary. The cardiac muscle is an involuntary muscle, meaning it operates without any conscious control. These muscles form the walls of the heart and contracts to circulate the blood. The visceral or smooth muscles are also considered involuntary. These muscles are found in organs or organ systems such as the digestive or respiratory system. And the third type of muscle is the skeletal muscle. These are what we typically think of when talking about muscles. These muscles attach to the skeleton and provide the skeleton with the ability to move. The skeletal muscles are classified as voluntary. This is because we have to make a conscious effort or decision to make them move.
Coming to the other organ systems, the most important system one can say is the circulatory system. The circulatory system consists of the heart, blood vessels, and blood. Each time heart contracts, blood is pumped along the blood vessels. It is therefore kept in a state of continuous motion. By blood circulation, oxygen, nutrients, and other substances are brought to the tissues, and the waste products and carbon dioxide formed by the tissue are constantly removed. Let us see the different organs coming under this system. The first one is the heart. Heart is very important because it is the pumping organ for the blood circulation. It is situated in the thorax, between the lungs, and onto the left side of the body. The size of the heart is equal to a cloned fist, and the average weight of heart in male is about 300 grams, and in female it is about 250 grams. The right side of the heart contains impure blood or deoxygenated blood, while left side contains the pure blood or oxygenated blood. Each side is again divided into auricles and ventricles. Auricles receive the blood, and the blood is pumped into the ventricles, from where it is pumped out of the heart. The blood is known as the transport system of the body, and it plays an important role in the maintenance of life. The blood contains hemoglobin, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. The blood vessels are the tube-like structures which carry blood all over the body. There are three types: arteries, capillaries, and veins. The blood vessels which carry blood from heart to any part of the body can be called as an artery. The capillaries are tiny blood vessels which connect the small arteries and veins. The exchange of oxygen and nutrition with carbon dioxide by the tissue takes place in the capillaries. The veins are the blood vessels which carry blood to the heart from different organs. There are two important veins named as superior and inferior vena cava. We can see a video on the circulatory system.
Every day, your heart beats about 100,000 times, sending 2,000 gallons of blood surging through your body. Although it's no bigger than your fist, your heart has the mighty job of keeping the blood flowing through 60,000 miles of blood vessels that feed your organs and tissues. Food, water, and oxygen are essential for the existence of human life. Blood transports all these substances through various channels called blood vessels. Blood vessels involves arteries, veins, capillaries. To keep the blood flowing throughout our body, we have a pumping system, and the heart is the pump, which is composed of muscle that pumps blood throughout the body, beating approximately 72 times per minute of our lives. The human heart has 4 chambers: the right atrium, the left atrium, the right ventricle, and the left ventricle. There are 4 valves in the heart. These valves are tricuspid valve, mitral valve, aortic valve, pulmonic valve. These valves are one-way valves. Now, you have seen the structure of the heart. Let us find out how it works. The blood becomes oxygen-rich by absorbing oxygen in the lungs. The function of the heart starts when oxygenated blood is carried from the lungs to the left atrium of the heart by means of the pulmonary veins. The left atrium relaxes, this blood is pumped into the heart. When the left atrium contracts, the left ventricle relaxes simultaneously. The left atrium pushes the blood into the left ventricle through the one-way valve. When the left ventricle contracts, the blood is pumped into the aorta, which carries oxygenated blood to the different parts of the body, except the lungs. Oxygenated blood reaches the different parts of the body through the blood vessels called the arteries. The arteries gets branched into capillaries, which then reaches to the different organs of the body. The blood then becomes deoxygenated, and the blood capillaries gets mixed and form thicker blood vessels called the veins. The veins carry deoxygenated blood to the heart. The blood vessels that carry deoxygenated blood to heart are known as the vena cava. The deoxygenated blood from different parts of body enters the upper right chamber of the heart, which is called the right atrium. The right atrium gets contracted, allowing the blood to flow into the right ventricle, which contracts with the expansion of the right atrium through the one-way valve. The right ventricle then contracts, pushing the blood into the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery carries the deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. The lungs oxygenate the blood by exchanging of gases and flows back into the heart through the pulmonary vein, and starts the circulatory cycle all over again.
Coming to the respiratory system, respiration or breathing is a process in which oxygen is obtained from fresh air and it is absorbed into the bloodstream, and the carbon dioxide formed by the tissue action is removed from the blood and expelled into the air. It is a process essential to the life. It involves the taking in of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide. The main organs of respiratory system are nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and lungs. With respect to our exams, please remember these names, such as the organs included in the respiratory system, the function of the lungs, function of the respiratory system, like that. We can see a video on respiratory system here.
We breathe about 16,000 to 24,000 times a day with exchange of about 11,000 liters of air with the atmosphere. In this process, the oxygen of the atmospheric air is delivered to the human body, which is then utilized by the tissue, and the carbon dioxide which is produced by the human body is exported to the lungs. The human respiratory system has two parts, the upper respiratory system and the lower respiratory system. The upper respiratory system consists nasal cavity, pharynx, and larynx. Air entering the nasal cavity flows through the passage created by the superior, middle, and inferior nasal conchae. Frontal, maxilla, nasal, ethmoid, and vomer are the 5 bones of the nasal cavity that form a framework that support the nose. The pharynx is a muscular membranous tube that functions as a part of alimentary canal and as an airway in the upper respiratory system. Pharynx consists of 3 regions, and they are nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx. The larynx is an organ of complex structure that serves as a dual function, as an air canal to the lung and as the organ of phonation. The skeletal framework of the larynx consists of cartilages connected by the membranes. The lower respiratory system consists trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and lungs. The trachea extends from the larynx to the upper border of the T5 vertebra, where it branches to form bronchi. The trachea is supported by a series of C-shaped cartilaginous rings that allow the trachea to change shape to accommodate masses of the food passes through the esophagus. The bronchi are the air passage into the lung that begins at the end of the trachea. There are 2 bronchi, one for each lung. The bronchi divide and redivide to form a bronchioles. There are 2 lungs in the human body, which are located inside the thoracic cage. The right lung is bigger than the left. The right lung has 3 lobes and the left has 2. There are hundreds of millions of alveoli exist inside each lung. These alveoli are the air sacs surrounded by the network of blood vessels that provide space for gaseous exchange.
And coming to the digestive system is a mechanical and chemical process by which the complex food is converted into simple substances so that they can be absorbed into the blood circulation. The absorbed food is utilized by various tissues of the body according to their requirement. The main organs of digestive system are the mouth, salivary glands, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, pancreas, liver, small intestine, and large intestine. We can see all these structures in this video.
Your digestive system consists of all the organs involved in breaking down the food you eat, absorbing nutrients and eliminating waste products. When you take a bite of food, your digestive system is activated automatically. In the stomach, the food is broken down into smaller pieces and digestive juices are added. The now liquid food is passed on to the small intestine, where the nutrients are absorbed and digested. In the large intestine, also called the colon, water and salts are absorbed, causing the waste products to become firmer and turn into stool. The stool is then pushed through the intestine towards the rectum by a series of muscle contractions known as peristalsis. You have 3 to 4 major peristaltic movements each day. The time it takes for food to pass through your digestive system is called the transit time. The average transit time for females is 2.4 days. And 1.9 days for males. When stool fills your rectum, nerve endings register that your bowel wall becomes distended and a signal is sent to your brain telling you that it's time to find a toilet. At the same time, your internal sphincter relaxes by reflex and stool moves down towards the anus. When you are ready, you consciously allow the external sphincter to relax and stool is expelled. In between going to the toilet, both the internal and the external anal sphincter are contracted to keep you continent and to prevent leakage.
Coming to the excretory system, excretion is the process by which waste products are expelled out of the body. Among the organs that contribute towards the elimination of waste products are skin, lungs, kidneys, and gastrointestinal tract. The skin covers the external surface of the body. Waste matter in the form of sweat is removed through perspiration by the skin. The urinary system contains the kidneys, urethras, urinary bladders, and urethra. Kidneys are 2 bean-shaped organs situated on posterior abdominal wall in the lumbar region. They act as filters in the body. They filter out the nitrogenous wastes from the blood. The urethras are 2 tubes which carry the urine from kidney to the urinary bladder. Urinary bladders are hollow muscular organ situated in the pelvic cavity. Its size and shape vary according to the urine it contains, and it is the organ to store urine. Urethra is the tube leading from the floor of the urinary bladder to the exterior. It is used for the excretion of the urine. What happens in the excretory system we can see in this video.
Excretion. The biological process involved in the removal of harmful metabolic wastes from the body is called excretion. The chief organ that is involved in excretion is kidneys. The excretory system of human beings consists of 1. A pair of kidneys, right kidney and left kidney. 2. A pair of ureters, right ureter and left ureter. 3. A urinary bladder. 4. A urethra. Kidneys are located in the abdomen on either side of the backbone. Kidney is a basic filtration unit. The waste products are nitrogenous wastes that are collected from the blood in the form of urine. The produced urine passes through ureters into urinary bladder. The urine is stored in the urinary bladder and the urine is released to outside through urethra.
Another most important system in the body is the nervous system. The internal balance of the human body is maintained within normal limits by the nervous system and the endocrine system. The nervous system may be subdivided into three main portions: the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, and the autonomic nervous system. The central nervous system consists of the brain and spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system forms the connection between central nervous system and the various organs and muscles. The autonomous nervous system is the offshoot of central nervous system and controls involuntary functions of the various internal organs such as stomach, intestine, tiny muscles of the blood vessels, liver, kidney, etc. A person is neither conscious about the normal activities of autonomic system nor he is able to control them. So we can see a video on the nervous system here.
Our sense organs, which collect information from the surroundings, are connected to the central nervous system, which consists of brain and spinal cord through afferent nerves. If something happens that requires taking action, for example, if football is flying towards you, then the central nervous system receives impulses from the sense organ and it generates response which is carried to muscle through afferent nerve, and here that response will make the leg muscles contract to kick the ball. Though different sense organs work in different ways, they all keep sending information about the changes in the surroundings that trigger responses from the central nervous system.
That's all about the structural organization of the human body. The basic knowledge of our body systems allows us to understand the field of health and hygiene with ease. This knowledge provides us the basic framework on which subsequent knowledge and skills dealing with medical science can be gained in a progressive manner. In the next class, we will discuss the communicable diseases and its control measures. Thank you.